struggling to come to grips with reality. Confusion and chaos have become part of me. I seek answers to know where my liberation lies. Only in peace and calmness does that clarity arise. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. So many voices, so many interpretations. No answers given, only outer temptations. Where can I find that truth inside of me? Realization of what I am is all I'm wanting to see. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmissions. The wisdom transmissions. No more redirection, ending the contemplation. Forget fighting reflection. Outer world's a projection. Internal is the cause, external's an effect. Put it on pause. I'm silencing the noise, centering, entering void. Truth is beautifully subtle, the voice without a voice. Heart and mind shall settle, making decisions now, escaping illusions of choice. Transmissions of wisdom bring me insights of reason. Let my mind expand to the higher states. My mortality is no longer at stake. Let me hear the wisdom transmission. The wisdom transmissions.
And good morning, good afternoon. Hello. I don't know what that's about. Okay. That was weird. I still got an echo here. Something else is, I think I know what it is. No, that's not it either. Huh. Let me see here. Give me 1 second here, guys. I'm just trying to find out why there's this back echo going on here. Well, that is weird. I have no idea why that's happening. Okay, well anyways, hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm not too sure why it's back echoing like that, because I don't have any other microphone on. Weird. Mercury retrograde's already starting. What can I say? Okay. Alright, I'll do my best to try and just make do with what the microphone is right now. I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. Anyways, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the next Wisdom Transmissions webcast today. It's going to be kind of a short webcast today. We're probably just going to do about an hour. Okay. And I need to kind of update that marquee, so I'm going to turn it off right now. That was from last week. Oh, like I said, everything's just kind of in a bit of a technical uproar this morning. It hasn't been this great of a week. Brianne is basically recovering from a really bad flu as well too. Her daughter was very sick, and then she got it as well too. Fortunately, I'm okay, but I've had like a lot of aches and sores and joint stiffness and all that stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on the planet energetically that's just basically barraging the entire civilization. So we can even see that with the Schumann resonance as well too. There's so much change. There's so much transformation. There's so much metamorphosizing, so to speak, of the planet, and I'm sure a lot of us are feeling it, right? So if you're feeling it as well too, maybe you can mention that in the comments, in the chat. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started firstly just with some announcements, and let me just double check my sound. I don't know why it's done that. That's weird. It has never done that before. So it makes sense if I had like a second microphone on, but I have no second microphone, so why it was buzzing crazy like that is beyond me. Okay, I'll try again here. Make sure you guys can hear me okay. Okay, so there's that sound again. I have no idea what's causing that. That is weird. Okay, that's a mystery. Usually if there's like a back sound or a feedback from the YouTube video, that would make sense, but the YouTube video is muted. So, get out the Crayolas and color me tickled pink. I don't know. All right. Anyways, I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. I'm just going to have to lower the microphone volume here a little bit. That is certainly not coming on. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our announcements, and we'll get things rolling here. Here we go. Okay, so you can go to wisdomtransmissions.com. Of course, I have the private one-to-one sessions, or the private live sessions. 3 questions by email. If people do not want to connect with me by video or anything of that nature, you can do a 3-question sessions by email. I'm also doing the full body scan and source healing. There are 3 different plans available for the full body scan that you can check out. One of it is really just physical energy scan and no source healing with that one. There's a second plan that involves the physical body and of course the energy body with a source healing scan. And then finally it is the physical body, energy body, nutrition body, and DNA body together with a source healing scan. That is plan number 3. And then of course we have the Akashic Records sessions. That is, again, there's 2 options there. There's Akashic Records by email, and there is also Akashic Past Life Regression utilizing Yoga Nidra. So that is also available. And finally we have the Energy Cord Attunement, which is very simple, just looking into 3 particular areas that may be out of alignment for yourself, and then working with an energy cord attunement just to help rebalance everything. Of course, I do have some online courses. We have the weekly Adronis classroom, patreon.com/Adronis. It's $18 per month with a 7-day free trial. So you can check that out on wisdomtransmissions.com. Then on Etherics here, we have currently a 40% discount. It is actually going to be moving up to 45% here later this afternoon. So it'll be a 45% discount on everything that is in the store, with the exception of some of our new items. I have a new item imbuing service, which means I can take any particular object of yours and basically imbue it into the Etherics Transcendental Codes, like everything else that is placed here on the website. So that is one of our newest services. It's a service, not a product. So that is available too. On Etherics, we also have the 50/50 installment plans available, but again, later this afternoon, there will be a 45% discount as the Etherics web store is going to be turning into another store here by the end of April that is going to be called Facet, the Facet Metaphysical Emporium. So I'm looking for that. It'll feature both Etherics products and other affiliate products as well too. So that's going to be exciting. Then we go to Predict My Astrology. So this is the newest venture that I have created. Predict My Astrology, everything is automated. You have professional AI-generated Vedic astrology reports in over 60 different languages. Yes, you heard it. 60 different languages that are available. Accurate, detailed reports available in less than 24 hours or your money back. So if your report isn't given to you in 24 hours, you get it for free. You get your money back. Okay. So you can go through this. We also have the brand new free Vedic astrology horoscope. You just enter your information here, and then daily you'll start getting a free Vedic astrology horoscope coming through, specifically tailored to your your chart, so you can get all of this kind of great information relating to personalized forecasts, planetary transits and their influence, lunar phases and energy cycles, personalized affirmations and mantras, lucky colors and numbers, intuitive timing for success. There's a lot of great detail in these reports, and they're free, right? So you get them for 365 days. So again, you can't beat it. It is free and it's very informative. And then of course we have all of our full deluxe report right now that is 20% off, so you can get that as well too. We have testimonials here, and of course we have more of our other reports available: personal questions, love compatibility report, topics report, 2025 annual report as well too, to see exactly what your year looks like astrologically speaking. So again, check this out. It really is amazing. I'm loving doing this. I have this 5-year experience as a Vedic astrologer. I wouldn't call myself a guru or anything of that nature, right? I think you have to have maybe about 10 years under your belt, but I've been doing Vedic astrology for 5 years and basically started to work together with the systems and being able to apply it in this way where AI is being used as a helpful creative tool to give you these really accurate and detailed reports, because I've actually compared the reports from Predict My Astrology together with other reports, so to speak, across the web. And I look at some of these other reports and there's either too much or too little information, or it's scattered and it's not very appealing. Predict My Astrology is beautifully laid out. It is a beautiful report. It gives you just enough information. It details. It actually gives you a lot of practical advice to actually start applying this. The reason why I'm really not sick right now, because my partner is sick, her daughter is sick, is I started working together with harmonizing my planets thanks to these particular type of reports that are coming out of Predict My Astrology. So check it out. It is a very helpful tool. It's very beneficial. You can certainly go for multiple reports because we have so much to look into. Anyways, that is predictmyastrology.com. Then finally, we have Readings with Brianne. So Brianne did a brand new website. She made this herself. So it looks really, really great. Like I said, Brianne is really just recovering right now, but she'll be back in business in probably the next couple of days. And she has a first session offer here. You get 10% off Welcome 10. So again, you can check out her website with tarot readings, with crystal grids, with crystal ball readings. She does sessions over Zoom. So she's really working hard. She's basically being told by the universe right now to take it easy for a couple of days because she's been working nonstop. She's a very hard worker. So go ahead and check out ratingswithbrianne.com. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with today's broadcast. I know you guys are eagerly waiting for some questions to ask, so we will get started with that. And hopefully my microphone holds up. That is just the weirdest thing. Like I said, it's pre-Mercury retrograde, right? What can I say? It's acting crazy today. All right, so let's hope it holds out without any little problems. Okay, so we have a few donation-based questions here. So we're going to start off firstly with Medvec Sistosny. I apologize if I can't get your names right, my friends. I'm doing what I can. I'm just going to refer to you as Medvedic. I believe I've had a question with you before. The question you have is green tea healthy? Is caffeine bad for the body? Okay. There is a lot of mixture with that, but let's take a look at the Akasha, just as I'm taking a look at green tea. And I'm not looking at this as a medical professional. I'm looking at this intuitively. I'm looking at this energetically, right? So that's kind of the disclaimer. If anybody who is like a doctor or a medical professional, what's this guy doing? Well, this is not being looked at medically. This is not being looked at in a physical way. It's looked at energetically. It's looked at intuitively, and it's looked at through the Akasha. So I'm just giving that disclaimer in case anybody's huffy about that. Okay, so let's take a look at green tea. It's a matter of kind of knowing that just enough can be very beneficial with you. If you're utilizing it too much, it cannot be that good for you, okay? But if it's kind of like you have a dosage of it, right? You have to kind of pay attention to how much you're drinking. So if there's an efficient quality that's appropriate for your body, it can be very beneficial for you, despite the idea of caffeine. Caffeine itself is not too bad of a thing. It's when it's in excess, okay? There are some things here, of course, that we eat and drink quite commonly that has quite a bit of caffeine in it. And like I said, a little bit isn't really going to hurt you, but if you're doing a lot, if you're doing excessive drinking of caffeinated beverages, or you have a lot of food that has caffeine in it, so to speak, then it cannot be too good. But like I said, it's a little bit, and it's kind of like you have to know what is the exact amount that you want to take. And again, I can't offer you any particular advice pertaining to green tea. I'm not really a green tea drinker myself. I've had it every now and then, but it can be beneficial if you're utilizing the right amount. And that's really what I'm getting from the Akasha here. Is I just make sure that you're kind of balancing yourself out. Pay attention to how you feel when you're drinking it, right? And seeing exactly what it does to you. But there are a lot of health benefits for green tea, despite the idea of the caffeine. So it is a very, very good tea. But like I said, you have to kind of balance yourself out. You have to kind of look at it on the scales to see how it works for you. Okay, so that's my answer pertaining to green tea. It's an interesting question. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to Curious Mind. Curious Mind is next. Please, okay, so guys, please no personal question. I forgot to say that. So, so no offense to Curious Mind. It's better for you maybe to drop me an email later on, right? Because I forgot to mention this to everybody. But I think these particular questions were on before I was on the air. Okay, so please, my friends, no personal questions on the webcast. Okay, even if you have donation-based questions. So I know you have a donation here. I'll read through your question to see if it's something that can help with other people. The only time I allow personal readings on this webcast is when Brianna's with me. Okay, so that's once a month. Brianna and I come together and we do a personal reading webcast. Okay, but when I'm here on my own, we want to try and keep the questions semi-personal or general in nature. So I'm just going to read through your question and seeing if there's anything that is recommended. And I also can't answer this Curious Mind because this is too medically inclined. Okay, so it's basically, please tap into my son who's regularly experiencing cold symptoms, but the docs can't find anything wrong. Perhaps you can recommend some supplement. Yeah, I can't. Okay, that's not what I do, my friends. I am not a supplement specialist. Okay, I am not here to be a medical professional. You're looking at an energetic intuitive. Okay, what I can share, and this is just for people in general as well too, if you're getting a lot of cold symptoms, white light breath. Okay, that's not coming from a medical profession. That's not coming from a medical background. What I would suggest is you're working with the white light breath. So I would say talk to your son, show him the white light breath technique. It is on my YouTube channel here. If you can't find it, go to the YouTube search bar, just type in Brad Johnson, white light breath, okay? And just start doing it. For the times where I've had aches and pains and soreness and stiffness, and I've had stomach aches as well too, I go right to white light breath. I just do 3 of them. I do 3 of those white light breaths and the problem is gone. Okay, so that's where you're breathing in the white light, you're holding it for a few seconds, and then you're exhaling through the mouth and you're letting a lot of that black smoke coming out. You're putting that into the ether, okay? And you're just repeating that. Just breathe in, hold your breath, and exhale. This phone's beeping too much. Here. Where's it out of the way? It's getting too distracting. So again, white light breath, that would be my suggestion. And like I said, that is kind of a semi-personal or general answer to people, because if you're starting to use white light breath, it will certainly help you out. Now, that's not replacing your food, that's not replacing your supplementation or anything of that nature, but I said that's not my area of expertise, okay? My area of expertise is intuition, energy, right? Looking into these things through the Akasha, looking through these things through the inner world, okay? So Curious Mind, that is what I would suggest you put through to your son, is work with a white light breath technique. Okay, that will help out a lot. Thank you very much for your question. Okay, let's go down a little bit further. Okay, so Solstice asks, can Adronis speak about the missing 411 cases in U.S. national parks? He's already talked about this, actually. He's talked about it quite a bit in the past. Now, I think it goes back a couple of years, and I know not everybody's tuning into the webcasts, and they may miss it. Basically, what he has talked about is that there's a lot of phenomena going on in parks. You have to understand that parks, or basically forests, national parks, whatever they may be, have a lot of portal activity within it, which means there's a lot of kind of crossing dimensions. And there can be people who can basically just go into the park, they basically veer off trail, or they may be on trail as well too. And there's a lot of people that just go missing, and there's search teams that go throughout the entire forest, and they do not find anybody. And a lot of these, there's many different phenomena that come through a lot of these parks. But you have to understand that the earth is like a honeycomb, right? And there are active spots where people can actually go into the forest and actually start vanishing into other dimensions. And they may actually start coming out maybe a few years later. right? So you could say that there's these pocket dimensions or pocket dilations that actually take place where they are walking through a forest and all of a sudden they vanish, they disappear. So Adronis has talked about this quite a bit going back a couple of years. He says there are certain people, of course, that live in the forests that may not be too accommodating. Okay, there can be some hostile presences in the forest. There's a lot of different creatures in the forest. There's inner earth beings that can come out through caverns, that can actually just come out through hollows of trees. There's fae that are there as well too. There's interdimensional pockets. You have many different forms of explanations about why this is happening. And unfortunately, when you're looking at a lot of these documentaries, they're not really telling you the truth. They're giving you kind of watered down explanations. They kind of leave more questions than answers. And like I said, this is what happens when you try to rely on the outside world to try and answer your questions. Can't do it, right? You have to go within. So yes, Adronis has talked about that. From interdimensional pockets to other beings within the forest. There's even been a lot of seances and rituals within forests as well too, that maybe people have stumbled upon. So it depends on the person altogether, but a lot of these missing people are primarily vanishing based upon these interdimensional pockets, these interdimensional overlays, where you're basically shifting out of one Earth and going into another Earth, where it may seem like several years later. It's kind of like going through the Bermuda Triangle when it's active, or the Dragon's Triangle when it's active, the plane flying over, and all of a sudden it disappears. And then maybe 20, 30 years pass, all of a sudden it comes back out again. Okay, so it's like a roadmap, and a lot of these particular interdimensional rifts or pockets or overlays are commonly found within the depths of forests, right? The deeper you go into forests, the more that you have that particular type of phenomenon that can occur. So that is, there's a couple of reasons there of why that is. There's other reasons as well too, but a lot of disappearances really come from portal networks. Okay, thank you, Solstice, for your question. All right, let's move on. Let's see here. Sorry, my mouse is being a little bit funky right now, so I'm just working to get all the donation-based questions taken care of first. We got a few of them here. Okay, this one here is from EUM142. Hi, Brad. What's the holdup with Ukraine and Russia peace deal? Is there still some unfinished business behind the scenes? EUM142, have you seen my Akashic Intelligence report that I did last Friday? Please watch that, okay? This is not about a peace deal, okay? You have to understand that when you're looking at Zelensky, and again, I've talked about this on the Akashic Intelligence report, he's not even really in charge, okay? He is not in charge of the Ukraine. He is a figurehead. He is a puppet, okay? So what is happening right now is that there's a lot of stuff that's already happened pertaining to Russia and the Ukraine, right? Basically, Russia's already won. Russia's already primarily taken over. What you're seeing here in front of the scenes is a three-ring circus, okay? It is not what is really happening, okay? So there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of footage, of course, they'll put online as well, too, pertaining to like as if the war is still happening. But primarily, Russia has this in the bag already. And it's not about a peace deal. This is about the idea, in the way, the greatest respect is that it's looking into the mafia that exists in Khazaria. Okay, the Ukraine is Khazaria. Khazaria is probably one of the most filthiest, nastiest countries to ever grace the earth. Okay, and there has been a war between Russia and its neighboring lands and Ukraine, or Khazaria, for centuries. And this is exactly why we've had all of this nastiness spread throughout the entire world pertaining to bloodline families and so forth. But I talk about this extensively in my last Akashic Intelligence report. Okay, this is not about a peace deal. This is about a complete and total surrender. Okay, so Russia is not looking for a peace deal with Ukraine. They're taking their land back. Ukraine is primarily Russian territory, and I know a lot of people don't say that, but that's primarily how it is. Russia has had that particular land for themselves for centuries. Okay, so this is not about a peace deal. You know, they talk about ceasefire, but my friend, that's not it. That's not what's actually happening. That's the watered down, you know, garbage external article you're getting for the sleepers. And that's not what's happening. Khazaria is being completely obliterated. Okay, it's not looking to go after the innocent people. but it's looking into the underground. The underground of Khazaria/Ukraine is horrendous. And I'm not going to go over it again because I talked about it with great detail in the last Akashic Intelligence report. Okay, I blanked out there for a minute. See, there's some stuff. This is why I say, guys, we have to be careful of what I talk about online because there's so much security, there's so much tight stuff going on behind the scenes, where we have to be careful of what you guys ask. Okay, I know you have burning questions for me, and I do what I can to try and talk about it in a way that is kind of in code. But like I said, I basically just lost my recording here for about 30 seconds. So that's kind of like a warning, right? Hey, you're talking about some sensitive stuff here. So EUM 143, that's all I can really talk about. Okay, please go watch my Akashic Intelligence report, and you can find out more about Ukraine because I talked quite a bit about it. But that is it in a nutshell. Okay. Let's go to Anna Schilling. Anna Schilling says, apparently there is microplastic in the air we breathe. Is that so? Of course. There's a lot, guys, there's a lot more stuff that's worse than microplastics in the air. You have dirty lead, you have dirty cadmium, you have you have arsenic in the air, you have all kinds of different chemicals, you have all kinds of different microparticles of metals that are in your body. My friends, I have scanned hundreds of people through the full body scan. And out of the hundreds of people that I've scanned through full body scan, about 99% of you have a body that's completely filled with metallic toxins. Okay, and that is everywhere. And it's not just microplastic. Microplastics is probably the least thing you need to be concerned about. That's nothing. Okay, it's other things. It's these metals. It's these nasty metals, right? It's these particles that get into you, and they're just spread all over the place, right? Our entire air is nasty. It's filled with all kinds of nasty chemicals. It's filled with all kinds of, microparticles of metals, right? It is a nasty thing. So yes, there's that, but there's far worse things in the air that we're constantly breathing in and out all the time, right? So the question may be, well, how do we clear that out? White light breath can help you with that, okay? So a lot of the things that I'm offering through etherics, working with the healing code cards, okay? Helping with radiation elimination, biotoxin eliminator, heavy metal eliminator, okay? These are things that are in the, I point to it, the body deck, okay? So the gold deck there that I'm pointing to, that's the body deck. And there's cards there that can help you to alleviate a lot of that, okay? White light breath can also help to alleviate that with that. So there are options. Of course, there's a lot of food items that you can take. You know, Medical Medium talks about his heavy metal detox smoothie. That's another option as well too. Or celery juice. That's another option as well too. So there's things that you can do. But like I said, there's a lot more. So the answer to your question, Anna, is yes, but there's a lot more stuff that is just contained inside our air that is absolutely nasty. Hopefully in the next few years, there's going to be like some air purifiers. They're basically going to start developing air purifiers and start cleaning out a lot of the toxicity in the air, right? So a lot of these air purifiers could be like towers, so to speak, and they're actually absorbing a lot of the debris in the air. I think that's going to be quite a ways down the road though, because it's quite expensive to build those things, but I have seen visions of them. They kind of look like small skyscrapers, but they're actually like filtering out the air, absorbing all of the nasty debris, you could say, in the air, and then bringing out clean air. So I feel like there's going to be technologies that will be abound for air cleanliness, but I think that's probably more 2030s. So let me take a look at that for air purification here. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a ways. I'm seeing a lot of flying cars at the same time. So flying cars are going to be a thing of the future as well too. So it does feel like kind of around the 2030s, maybe 2040s, around there, where there's going to be air purifiers. There's going to be things available for the home as well too, to purify air. There may even be certain things in vehicles that actually may come through and start purifying the air as well too. Again, structures that look like small skyscrapers that are purifying the air. There's going to be an air purification craze, okay? Because there's going to be some breakthroughs relating to how we can cleanse the air, right? So it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to try and go into too much of the scientific details to describe, but a lot of it has to do with atomic rearrangement of things, right? You're actually working with maybe it's nanotechnology in that way. That's basically utilizing some type of filtration system or systems, and they're utilizing that to purify the air. But unfortunately, yes, there's all kinds of nasty gunk, nasty stuff in our air. And like I said, when I've scanned people, about 99% of them are just filled with toxins. They're filled with heavy metals. They're filled with viruses, viral groups in people's body is very strong at the same time. We're a mess, right? It's not our fault. We're basically in a toxic soup, right? We have to breathe in this air. We don't really have a choice about that. But what we are going to learn how to do is clean the air a lot more. And I think it's working with nanotechnology or nanofilters in that way that basically have a particular type of arrangement or algorithm that's actually helping to purge a lot of the toxic metals and other gunk out of our air, so we don't have to breathe that in anymore. But that's a ways down the road, but the good news is something like that is going to happen. Okay, and it's beautiful. I'd love to see that come about. Thank you, Anna, for your question. Let's go to Chiron949. Is Luna Classic Flash Crash coming soon? I have no idea what a Luna Classic, L-U-N-C. Let me take a look at that just very briefly. I've never heard of Lunk. Okay, so Lunk, Luna Classic, just so I can get an idea of what that is. Okay, Luna Classic price chart. Luna Tuna, Terra Luna. Okay, I thought it said tuna for a reason. Oh, so it's a crypto. Okay, so Terra Classic Luna price. Okay, so there's some cryptos I'm not aware of. Right, I don't try to keep up too much with the tarot game. Or not the tarot game. The crypto game. The tarot game I keep up quite a bit. Speaking of the tarot, I think I'll look into this one here for the Luna Classic. Okay, so flash crash coming soon. I'm not too sure what you mean by a flash crash, but let's take a look and see what Luna Classic is. If you guys can give a little bit more detail about what you ask, that just helps me a lot so I'm not confused. Just so I'm not giving you an answer that you're not asking a question about. It helps. Okay, and I know there's only so much room we can put in questions, but do your best. Okay, let's take a look at the Luna Classic. Okay, and what is ahead for the Luna Classic here, for this cryptocurrency? Okay, so I know you asked about a crash, but I'm not seeing anything of that nature. Okay, so I feel like the idea that this is building up, that there's it's kind of like the under development, under construction aspect. It feels like there's an expansion coming relating to the Luna Classic. It feels like it has a good, prosperous future ahead for it. So I'm not seeing anything here relating to a crash. Okay, so this is again working its magic. It's kind of like its wheels are turning, its gears are turning. Manifestation, transformation is coming together. Feels like it's getting some cogs out of the works, right? So it's basically purifying itself a lot more. So the Luna Classic, I feel actually has a very good future. I don't see anything in regards to a flash or a crash or anything of that particular nature. So if we're talking about this particular cryptocurrency, feels like it has a good future ahead for it. This particular currency itself feels like it is going to be well established. Okay. So I don't see anything in regards to a flash or a crash coming, not from what I'm seeing here of that reading. Okay, thank you, Chiron, for your question. Okay, those are all the donation-based questions, so I'm going to go into the chat. Like I said, we're going to have a bit of a short episode today. We're probably just going to go another 25 minutes, and we're going to wrap up. Okay, Mary asked me the question, hi Brad, have you asked Adronis who the one man could be running the world? They will not tell me. Right, they will not tell me anything in regards to names, right? Names are not something I get very commonly. Sometimes I do, but the one man, and we call it a one man, it may not even be a man, okay? It may be someone who appears like a man. What I could say is that this is probably some type of supernatural being, right? This one man that is primarily responsible, right? Where everything converges back to one. Right, where you have the corporations, where you have the bankers, where you have the bloodline families, where you have all of these different oligarchs, so to speak, but they all answer to one person. We don't know who that one person is. All that we know is that they're basically the high priest of the planet, and that they're losing. They're losing their power. They realize that that particular power within themselves that have been bestowed to them. And I feel like maybe it's like a very, very secret family that somebody does not know about. And like I said, I can't really say if this person's even a human. Maybe that's something I'll ask the Akasha here. The one man that I speak of, would that relate to a human being? It's kind of yes and no. There's someone who has been alive for a very, very long time. Someone who basically has, I can't say if it's technology or again if it's something with their own mental aptitude. They are hundreds of years old. Okay, this is a very different type of human being, if we call it a human being, whether it is that or if it's a mixture of different aspects, right? Where if it's supernatural or anything of that nature. But there's this one man. We just call it a one man because he looks like a man. If I'm tuning into this person right now, it's very hard to see them, right? It's kind of like they're kind of overlaid with different shadows, so to speak, and veils. It's hard to get a glimpse of this person other to know that they have like a male figure, okay? And that they're adult. Their adult has a male figure, but it's hard to say what he is, okay? All I do know is it feels like this person has been alive for several hundred years. Okay, so this person has some sort of great vitality. How he's able to stay alive, can't really say. But this is the idea of the one man running the show, right? But what I'm also getting is the feeling that a lot of this foundation around him is falling apart. So he's not going to be in the playing field for much longer. What happens to him, I don't know. But I feel like he is almost untouched by the things of the world. It's almost like he's realizing that he's being a game master and he's just playing the game as part of what he's being assigned here to do. It's almost like he's appointed this particular role by something much higher and something much greater, right? And he's basically been here and he's been stirring the pot. And I feel like he's also had a family that's been stirring this pot going back many thousands of years, but they have some particular type of capability to live a very long time, okay? So that's it. I don't really have a name for this person. I don't know who this person is. If it was that easy, my friends, I would have told you probably a long time ago because I've talked about the one man before, going back a couple of years. And it's just the feeling that we get from the Akasha when you tune in. If you basically are able to go into the Akashic Records yourself, because I know there's Akashic readers that do tune into my broadcast, and I challenge you guys, if you have a person who knows Akashic reading, I would like you to do an Akashic reading on the one man behind the oligarchs, the one man behind the bloodline families, okay? And you will find something very similar to me. You should be anyways, okay? Because that's all I'm doing. But I've talked about this for a couple of years. In fact, when I made the Inbound Interception, that's my short film that I did, there's a character in it named Agent Shadow, right? He was played by Chris Soren Kelly. He starred in the movie Ink back in 2009. And he was one of our main characters in the film, and he is actually based on the one man, okay? So I shouldn't be giving that away because I'm giving away some of the story plot for the Abdep Chronicles, but nonetheless, that's the whole idea. So I've known about this for quite some time, about the idea of the one man, and that he's almost kind of supernatural, right? We don't really know what he is, we don't know how he is, but he has basically been watching a lot of things, and he will intervene and entice and basically have, I don't know, you could say he has some phenomenal abilities within himself. I think he's a master of the mind. I think he's a master of life as well too. But a lot of what he's been doing, a lot of what he's been peddling is starting to fall apart now. So that's all I can do is I can invite other Akashic readers or psychics in that sense who are watching this webcast, because I know you do, and you can look into the one man and see what you get as well too. So that's why I just refer to him as Tom. There's his name. Okay, there's his name, Mary. You can call him Tom, right? There's Tom. So that's the name I give him, the one man. Okay. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of information. It's like there's a lot of barriers around him. It's not very easy to read him, other than just looking at some basic details and getting certain types of impressions. But I think this is also deliberate, is because a lot of things need to be kind of kept in the dark right now, pertaining to him. As maybe there's a role later on that he's meant to play, and hardly anybody talks about a one man, right? So there you have it. Okay, so this one here is from Gijo Matthew. Adronis, many people are saying that the time period between March 14th to March 31st will be very intense. What do you think will happen during this time? Okay, so between March, the middle to end of March. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I'm Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. We thank you to the one known as Jijo for the question, where you have stated that between March 14th and March 31st, that this will be a very intense time on your planet. April's going to be more intense. All right, you're just seeing the beginning right now. Why? Because the Earth is about to give birth. Remember, as we've talked about before, where it's like a transitional labor period for the planet? Well, she is about to give birth to an entirely new consciousness. And this is the fruits of what you are going to see as you move into the latter half of your 2020s decade. The birthing is about to happen. Why do you think that Mother Earth and her heart have been so intense recently? It's been so intense because she's in a state of transitional labor, and you're actually starting to see the baby crown. And that's actually what's happening right now. She's in the medical ward, as you would say. She's in the emergency room, and she is now giving birth. And the baby's head is now starting to crown. And then as you get into March, into April, into May, into June, that is the pushing out of the child and bringing the new child into the world. So again, a lot of these particular intense events that you are experiencing right now are going to continue, leading all the way up into late summer. So around your August and around your September, there will be again the deliverance of this new consciousness. And what that means is that there is going to be a higher energy in the air that is going to attract many people to it. There's going to be a new way of life that is going to unfold upon the planet, where you can now start to see many others gathering upon that new light. That new light is going to take you into a new world. We're not talking about this literally, but it's the idea that the energies on your planet are going to become a new type of ripeness, because you're seeing the mother leaving the transitional labor and deliver this new child into the world. And with the deliverance of this new child, it represents all of you. All of you are the birth of this new child, because there's going to be a new light coming upon the world that is being birthed out right now by the mother. So as it is being birthed out by the mother, all of these things pertaining to your corruption, pertaining to the idea in that sense of where people are being mistreated, where there is impoverishment, and all of this, wars, etc., are now going to start seeing remedies to ending over the next several years. Not right away, but over the next several years. A new light is coming upon the world, a new transformation. And right now you're looking at the bearing down stage. It's past transitional labor right now. It's going right into delivery. So you're in the delivery phase right now, which is a lot more quicker, of course, than the transitional labor, but it is the delivery. It is the baby's head crowning. And there's still a few more pushes that need to be done before the baby fully emerges. But that is exactly what's going to happen. Over these next couple months, intense pushes, intense pushes, intense pushes throughout March, April, May, June, July, August, and even into some of September. To where around the time of September, the baby has now fully emerged. As you go into September and as you start the dawn of October, this is where you're going to see a great amount of transformation on your planet. A new light has entered the world. And all of you need to see this new baby that has come into the world to truly know what this new light is. Because it is going to retire the old darkness. So that's what's taking place right now. You have to understand that all of these intensities upon your planet is a metamorphosis of the earth. Your earth is being re-terraformed. That's what's happening. This is a re-terraforming of the planet Earth. What that means is that the entire infrastructure of how everything pertaining to Earth functions is being overhauled. It is being upgraded. It is being cleaned. And therefore, humanity has to follow suit. They don't have a choice in it. So everything that is corrupt, everything that's built on lies and deceit, all of that corruption is going to die. It can't last. It's like going into an airtight chamber and having all the oxygen taken away from that corrupt force. It can't breathe. It will fall apart. It will die. That's what's taking place. It is the fundamental end to everything that represents your shadow, your corruption, your war, your impoverishment, your fighting, your conflict. All of that is dying out. And there are those, of course, on the planet who are so used to that, they will not accept these new changes. They still want to have chaos. They don't really know that they want chaos, but they think chaos is the norm of life. How wrong they will be in these times ahead. If you do not adapt to the new light, you're not going to be able to make it. Now, we're not saying that to scare anybody, but we're telling you that if you are completely neck deep in fear, all of those things that have made you fearful are on the way out. And if they're on the way out and those particular sources do not exist anymore, you're going to be like a child that's starving. And there's going to be a very rough time for a lot of them. In fact, we would say that much of your population right now is going through a great deal of extremes, even just to live day by day, because so many things are changing. No, you are not entering a recession period. No, you are not entering a depression period. It's like that for people who are unable to change. If they don't see the light within themselves, they stay in the darkness. It's what we've been telling you for the past several years. We've given you the Titanic analogy, that this ship is now belly up and it's now starting to sink into the water. And you're trying to pull as many people out of the boats as possible, out of the Titanic itself through your rescue boats as possible. But there are those who will not go. They will stay with the ship. They will sink with everything else that represents the corruption and the lies. That's what you're seeing. You are seeing repopulation, not depopulation, but repopulation. That's what's taking place. That is what we have been talking to you about for the past several years. You are going through repopulation. You are going through re-terraforming of your own planet. That's what's taking place. So, to answer your question, that's the idea. That's what's happening right now, pertaining to your Earth, pertaining to your world, and the birth of a new consciousness. We thank you very much. Okay, I hope you guys got that because I got another cutout again. Can you guys hear me? Were you able to get all that information from Adronis before I came back? If you can just answer me in the chat, that'd be great. Or was there a dead period? Was there a dead stop? Yes, okay, great. I got another fatal error here on my browser. So, like I said, guys, I don't think Mercury retrograde is waiting for the 14th. It's happening right now. So, we're getting pre-Mercury retrograde already happening. This is the second time now that my live feed here is just completely cut out. Okay, so I don't know if that's Mercury retrograde or if it's other people watching, or so to speak. But I'm glad that you guys got the transmission. Okay, so big news from Adronis. So that's primarily what's happening, right? We're seeing the birth of the new consciousness. We're seeing the crowning point. We're seeing the deliverance. So it's kind of what I've gotten as well too, is like from now right up until about the very end of the summer, we're seeing something extremely intense. And that would make sense of the idea of the delivering of the new baby, right? Delivering of the new light in the world. And unfortunately, my friends, and I know I don't like to talk about this, but I got to tell you the truth. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not going to be here for where humanity is moving forward in a very, very bright way. They are unfortunately so completely programmed with the shadow aspect of life. And we want to reach out our hand. We want to say, please, just take my hand. No, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you, right? And it's disheartening. But at the same time, we have to understand that these are souls, that they are truly eternal beings. And there have been lifetimes that we've had where we never got it right as well too, where we had to fall into darkness, where we had to fall into shadows. But there it is here in this lifetime where we can now start to redeem ourselves. We start to lift ourselves up. We start to do the inner work. We start walking the inner path, right? We start following that. And for others, it's just not their time. It's like looking back at those centuries past when we've looked at our own lifetimes. For those of you who have, I certainly have. And I was very much steeped in darkness. I did not have this type of realization in lifetimes past. I had to trip over my own feet. I had to fall over. I had to pass this earth plane in agony and despair many times before there's some opportunity for this to come together, for the shell of the egg to crack, and realization that there is something greater here, and it's within ourselves. Unfortunately, not everybody is going to experience that in this lifetime, right? It is a very small number. I'd say it's really maybe about 1/3 of the planet that is having that kind of cracking of the eggshell moment where we realize there's something more to ourselves, right? There's people that are angry and they're realizing that there's something more than the 5 sense reality. That's good, but they still haven't done enough to look inside themselves, to introspect and to heal themselves. And the good news is we have enough people who are doing that, who have made the changes necessary for us to live upon the earth that we're living right now, so that we're on the brink of this great new transformation, okay? But it very much is a repopulation that's going on. And like I said, this is repopulation. This is not depop. This is repop, okay? So what does that mean, right? Because Adronis has talked about this quite extensively. I have talked about this quite extensively. What does that mean? Well, if we look at depop, depop just represents, you could say, extermination, right? Complete and total extermination of a civilization. And that's not what's happening, okay? What we're looking at here is repop. We're looking at repopulation, which means there will be events taking place throughout one's life that's going to encourage them to clean themselves up, to overhaul themselves, to refine themselves, so that the old, let's say, for example, the old greedy miser here has made a breakthrough, and they're not about that anymore. They have done their inner work enough to clean their soul so that they're not becoming that greedy miser anymore. They're now starting to become compassionate. They're now starting to become loving. They're now starting to integrate a lot more with interconnectedness. That is an example of somebody who has entered repopulation, okay? So repopulation is the scrubbing of the collective consciousness, trying to scrub down a lot of people to help them open up their hearts, to realize exactly what's been happening, to look beyond the nature of morality and coming into the truth of your being, seeing your light, seeing your heart, moving more into compassion. And there's been an explosion of that on the planet, okay? That is what repopulation is about. It is taking the civilization and doing our best to scrub them down, to clean them, to overhaul them. And as they get overhauled, those who can be overhauled, they've had such a cleanliness happen to them that they're now starting to see a brand new world unfold. They're so sensitive to everything, and they can feel these things unfolding within themselves. They can feel these changes taking place. They can see what's ahead, and they can see this world magnificently, and they want to help people to help them see as well. But then there are those in that sense who are just too dirty to clean, right? These are embedded stains. And no matter what we try to do, we can't get those stains out. We try to scrub, and we just do everything we can to try and pull out those stains. But these people wear those stains upon their hearts like they're merit badges or something. And those people are not going to be able to see a new world unfold. They will go down with the corruption. They will go down with the shadows. They will go down with everything that represents the descent into this archaic shadow force that is no longer having the strength to maintain itself. It's plummeting. It's, again, the Titanic that is sinking. So that's the whole idea. This is the splitting of worlds. This is the splitting of population. It's really looking to the idea of people who can be cleaned are the ones that are going to inhabit a new earth. Of course, we see this in the Bible, right? The meek will inherit the earth. That's exactly what's happening right now. The meek really are the ones who can be cleaned out, who can start to see themselves, who want to offer compassion, who want to help. It's not to say that they don't get angry. Of course they get angry. Of course they get sad. Of course they get fearful. But their hearts are true enough that they want to assist. The good news, my friends, is there's a lot of us on the planet like that. Okay? This is repopulation. Okay? Repopulation is a scrubbing down. It's a scrubbing down. It's an overhauling of the population of enough people that will carry the earth forward for humanity. Okay? Because we're going to be living in a very bright and beautiful time. But if you are not in that bright and beautiful alignment, you will not see this. Okay? You are going to go down with the ship. And it's horrifying and it's terrible because these are our family members, these are our best friends, right? These are people who seem like just wonderful people. But unfortunately, their hearts have darkened with this stain that cannot be lifted, right? And we do our best to try and scrub it through, but they have to help themselves. I cannot take away anybody's pain. You guys cannot take away anybody's pain. This is their responsibility. And when you say that word responsibility, they cringe. What do you mean? I got to take care of myself. I got to make myself well. I got to do these things. Exactly. Yes. You'll have helpers. You'll have guides. But you have to take care of this yourself. These are your stains. They're not anybody else's. Nobody else can feel in your heart what you feel. That's your pain. And you have to learn to heal it. And if you do, you're scrubbing yourself free. You're going into repopulation. Simple as that. Okay, so that's an explanation about what repopulation means. Okay. All right, let's move on now. And thank you, Jijo, for your question. Let's go down further. Okay, Mihail asks, hello Brad, can you return on the Odyssey channel? YouTube in Russia only work through VPN in Russia. Well, I have videos on the Odyssey channel, but I don't go there live or do any kind of live episodes. I think it still synchronizes with the videos that I do here. So that's the best extent I can give for Odyssey. Odyssey is kind of like a backup of a lot of the videos that I've done in the past, and I think it's still supposed to synchronize with what I'm doing here as well. So that's the best thing I can do with Odyssey. Okay. Okay. So here's one from Didar Singh. Didar Singh says, question, how is the crypto market looking this summer? Okay. So again, I've already talked about the crypto market, but we'll talk about it again here for the summertime. Again, we're a little bit ahead right now, so even what I share right now could change as we get into the summer months. But let's take a look at the collective of the crypto market as we reach the summertime. Okay, let's take a look. I don't really see a lot of change. I don't see a lot of change with it right now. Like I said, it's like this. Okay, it's like that. Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. And right now it's kind of a down period for a lot of the crypto. That's to be expected. But then there'll be another surge of it going back up. Then it'll go up to a certain time, and then it'll go back down. Then it'll go up, then it'll go down. It's as I said, my friends, 2026 to 2028 is the golden time for cryptocurrency. And I'm not saying that as an expert. I'm not saying that as a financial guru. I'm just telling you the energetics of the collective of the crypto, okay? Because that energy is alive, because we've given it that energy. So what I can see is between 2026 and 2028, if you want breakthroughs, that's when it's happening, okay? It will not happen this year. This is a good year just to plant seeds, just to put things into the ground and let it kind of grow. And like I said, you have to kind of really maintain it, make sure you're watering it, make sure you're nurturing it well. And you're going to have ups and downs with the garden. But as you move more into 2026, you're going to notice, oh, there's going to be a day where this really sprouts, right? So that is really the time. And I keep getting these questions about, what about 2025? Sorry, guys, no. Cryptocurrency is not going to be too remarkable in 2025. It's not really going to happen. Even Adronis was saying this, going back to 2024. It says 2025 will be like a seed planting year. It's like you're going in and you're just revving up the engine, right? You're not actually going anywhere yet. It's the idea that crypto is getting popular, but its markets are not following, the energy of that popularity, not until 2026 to 2028. Okay, those are the golden times. Right now, just plant your seeds. You're gonna have ups, you're gonna have downs. And I get a lot of people ask me, bro, what about this crypto? If it's Bitcoin, if it's Ethereum, if it's XRP, if it's any of these ones, are they going to have, this kind of quantum leap in 2025? The answer is no, they're not. They're going to have ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. They'll have high periods, they'll have low periods. But that's not the boom that I'm talking about. The next 3 years after this one, that's the boom period. Okay? So that's what I can share about that. So as I looked in the summer, it's still kind of unremarkable. It's not really giving anything. I know a lot of people invest in this and say, come on, we want this to hit through the roof. I get that. I have crypto myself. I would love to see it hit through the roof, but just as I'm seeing, because my goal, everybody, is I stay neutral. When I'm starting to go into the Akasha, when I'm doing these algorithms, my job is to keep myself centered and to go into the Akasha and let the Akasha show this to me. I am not being personally involved. If I'm personally involved, then the reading I'm giving you is crap. Okay? So my job is to try and stay very neutral, to go into the Akasha, or to look into the tarot, or to center myself and let Adronis come in and let him share his own perspectives, and I stay out of the way. If I get biased in any particular way, then the information I give you is garbage. Okay? So my job is not to stay so intensely excited about the crypto, because I do see it in the next 3 years reaching new heights, right? That's going to break through the glass ceiling for sure, but not right now. Okay, it's just a seed planting right now. I know we want to get rich off this stuff, and it will happen, just not this year. Okay, thank you very much for your question. Let me just go down a little bit more further. Okay, we're almost out of time. I think I can take about 1 or 2 more questions, and that's it. Okay, let's go to Marizalk. Marizalk says, question, housing market. Will it be going down and corrected from fraud on mortgages and interests? Okay, let's take a look at the housing market. Now, we didn't look into the particular country, so I'll kind of look into Canada and the United States, because it's going to be different from every single country. But we'll kind of look at Canada and the US because I'm a Western man, right? So let's take a look and see the housing market for Canada and the US. Maybe over the next few months here. Let's see how things are going. Sorry to disappoint you, but that's still going to go on for a little bit longer. Okay, so like I said, the same thing with the housing market, 2026 to 2028. The markets are going to significantly increase. They're going to start stabilizing a lot more between those 3 years. 2025, my friends, I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. I'm just a messenger here. Unfortunately, it's just not the time. 2025 is a conclusion point. It is a bridge crossing, right? Here's 2024, here's 2026, here's this little bridge, and this bridge is kind of shaky. You're going on the bridge, part of it feels kind of stable, you take a step forward, and part of the wood underneath you starts to break, okay? It's kind of like there's stable points to this bridge, and there's unstable points to this bridge. 2025 is not a luxurious year, okay? It is not a quantum leap year. It is the year of endings. It is the year of culmination, which means we're seeing a lot more of this crap coming out, but it's coming out en masse. It can't be ignored anymore, right? So with housing markets, with their expenses, with the inflation as well too, yeah, it's still going to play out this year, okay? But as we get into the next 3 prime golden years, that's going to change, okay? All of that is going to go kaput, okay, between those 3 years. We'll have to look into it a little bit more as we get more closer to the time of 2026. But unfortunately, 2025 is not the year for that, right? Sorry, guys, but it's not. I would love to buy a house for myself as well too, but it's not the time for that right now. We got to give it a little bit more time. We need to let these things come out as they need to. We need to let more exposures come out. We need to let people wake up a lot more, and for the collective itself to adjust itself so that these changes can be made for the next 3 years, because those are the times. That's the golden time. Okay. Thank you for your question. We'll take one more and we're going to wrap up. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to see if there's a really good one to end on here. We got a couple questions. Okay. Okay, I know there's one here from Carol Ann. Carol Ann asks, is chiropractic medicine beneficial? I guess we can probably end with that one. Yeah, I guess we'll end with this one with chiropractic, because I have had quite a few people ask me about chiropractic medicine. It really depends who you see. You see, this goes back into a lot of other things that people ask me, right? Brad, is feng shui beneficial? Or is astrology beneficial? Or is the tarot beneficial? Or is chiropractic medicine beneficial? Is qigong beneficial? Is yoga beneficial? You're kind of asking the wrong question, okay? It's not about the science. It's not about the art. It's not about the form. It's about you, okay? So there are people who will take chiropractic knowledge, apply it with energy medicine, and they will be incredible facilitators. They may start to work with qigong. They may start to work with Ayurveda. They may start to work with traditional Chinese medicine, and they may start to work with chiropractic medicine and deep tissue massage, for example. And then they got this smorgasbord of knowledge within themselves. And when they see somebody, their capabilities are outstanding. Okay? It is not about the system. It's about you. Okay? Any great martial artist will tell you about that too. So, oh, I study karate and kenpo, and I study jujitsu and Muay Thai and all that. Oh yeah, well, Muay Thai is better than kenpo. No. It's not about the martial art. It's about you. Okay? It is not about the knowledge that you are attaining. It's about how you apply the knowledge. Right? It's like with me. There's a lot of people who are Akashic readers. There are a lot of people who are channels. There are a lot of people who are healers. And some of them are tremendous because of what they have been able to bring out of themselves. Others are not so good because they rely too much on the system to try to define who they are through the systems that they learn. And that is where you are going to tumble over your own feet, right? So looking at the nature of chiropractic medicine or any other particular type of science is not the issue. It's you. It's the person you're working with. It's if you decide to get involved with that, what can you do to take that particular science and make it part of you? Make it an extension of yourself, something that can be bright and brilliant and helpful, rather than the idea of saying, oh, it's the science, oh, it's the art, or it's the form, it's the mechanic. No, that's an excuse. It's you, right? And it's the people that you work with, seeing exactly how dedicated and devoted they are to doing this work and wanting to expand it. I actually have a very good chiropractor that I see because he's very open. He's open to energy medicine. He's always open to all these things. He's always probing my mind. Oh, how's things going with your meditation? How's things going with your YouTube channel and all that, right? So he's very aware of that. And that's what I find to be a good chiropractor. Person who's ready to open and expand themselves and take their knowledge to greater heights because it's them, not the science, not the mechanic, okay? So it's always about the person. It's all about the heart. It's always about the soul, not the knowledge that you attain. Okay? Taking all of that from within yourself and making it into something beautiful because you've made it happen. All right? I think that's a good way to end this week's broadcast. Thank you, everybody. I will be away on Friday, so I'm going to try and get the Akashic Intelligence Report either up tomorrow night, or maybe film it tomorrow night and have it ready for Friday morning, or I'll think of something else. But there will be an Akashic Intelligence Report coming as well, too, this week. All right, thank you, everybody. Blessings to you all. Namaskar, and I'll talk to you next week. Hopefully, again, you were able to hear much of my broadcast. It's been funky like a monkey today. But anyways, thanks for joining me. See you next time. Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Bye for now.